Hi friends, Gina Candelario with Kuper Sotheby's International Realty. Today I want to share one of my favorite hidden stories of San Antonio history. The incredible local connection to the man who sculpted one of the most iconic monuments in the world. You know the faces, you know the mountain, but what you may not know is that Gutzon Borglum, the creator of Mount Rushmore, once lived and worked right here in San Antonio, inside this quiet stone building at Brackenridge Park that served as his former personal studio. Borglum was born in 1867 to Danish immigrant parents and trained extensively in Europe, including Paris, where he studied under masters connected to Rodin. From the very beginning, he wasn't interested in small sculpture. He believed art should shape public memory, tell national stories, and live far beyond the artist. He called himself a monumental sculptor, and he meant that literally. By the time most artists were perfecting portrait busts, Borglum was already dreaming of carving mountains. Now here is where San Antonio's role becomes truly special. During the early 1900s, Borglum spent time living and working in San Antonio, and his workspace was located at what is now part of Brackenridge Park, his actual former stone studio, where he physically created and studied. This area drew him for several reasons: the dramatic limestone terrain, the deep Spanish and early Texas history, and the artistic energy developing around the park at that time. Inside that studio space, Borglum worked on early large-scale sculpture concepts, plaster studies, and design techniques that would make transfer directly into massive stone carvings. So when you walk through Brackenridge today, near the golf course and historic grounds, you are standing where one of the greatest sculptors in American history once worked with his own hands. San Antonio in the early 1900s was not yet the city we know today. It was still rugged, historic, and visually powerful. Borglum studied the limestone formations along the river and surrounding terrain. He learned how light moved across carved surfaces, weather-aged stone, and scale-changed emotional impact. These exact principles would later guide him when he stood beneath 6,000-foot granite cliffs in South Dakota. San Antonio didn't give him Mount Rushmore, but it helped shape the way he would eventually carve it. In the 1920s, Borglum was recruited to undertake what would become the most ambitious sculptural project in American history, Mount Rushmore in the Black Hills of South Dakota. He personally selected George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, each face representing different stages of American history: birth, growth, development, and preservation. He oversaw the angles, the blasting, the shaping, the facial measurements, even how shadows would fall across each president's features. He worked relentlessly, often dangerously, from ropes and scaffolding well into his 70s. Borglum was known to be brilliant, intense, extremely demanding, and notoriously difficult to work with. Governors fought with him. Contractors feared him. Artists admired him. He once said, "Everything we see hides another thing. We always want to see what is hidden by what we see." That belief defined his career. He wasn't carving faces, he was carving meaning. Borglum passed away in 1941 before the monument was fully completed. His son, Lincoln Borglum, carried out the work under his father's vision and brought the project to its final form. Today, over 2.5 million people visit Mount Rushmore every year. Borglum's methods are studied by sculptors and engineers alike. And here in San Antonio, we quietly hold one of his creative roots. San Antonio has always been a city of quiet giants, people whose global influence began in modest spaces. Knowing that, the sculptor of one of the most famous mountains on earth once worked inside a simple stone studio at Brackenridge. San Antonio isn't just historic, it's foundational. So the next time you visit Brackenridge, play a round of golf, walk the river, or pass by the quiet old stone building, remember, you're standing where the mind behind Mount Rushmore once worked. This is Gina Candelario. Thank you for watching, and I will see you the next time as we continue uncovering the stories that make San Antonio truly extraordinary.